you're seeing, the problem, the issue is in you. And you have to acknowledge this. That's the seeing that's required to perform Hooponopono. And so this doctor, when he went into the place, it was pathetic. I mean, they literally had people shackled hand and foot. These were rapists, murderers, and you know, it was typical of the treatment that was considered necessary for the safety of everyone in that environment. And he went in, believe it or not, as a counselor, you'd think he'd be meeting with people, but he wasn't. He met with their files, and he studied those. And in the 3 years, now I don't know if he was there longer, but over a period of 3 years, he never met with a patient, but he studied, and he found in himself what he needed to find. He saw how all of this was a reflection of him, and there's such a simple, natural movement with Hooponopono. The first thing is a repentance, and I'm sorry. The first thing is you look and you acknowledge what you're seeing. So I saw that cruelty there, terrible, callous cruelty to those sweet animals. And I had to look inside myself, and I had to own it. I can't see what I'm not. And so, of course, the soul is moved to repentance by the seeing of something terrible. The soul is moved to a sorrow that if you have proper vision, you can acknowledge and you can own that which you're seeing, because all is one. And these foundational understandings help a lot in this process. The Hawaiians, ancient ones, didn't have all these scientific things in support of what they do. They just did what they did. All right, so you're sorry and you're regretful, and so you offer that and you say, I am sorry. I'm so sorry. And you feel that. It's offered from heart, not from head. And you feel the repentance in it. And the next step is, please forgive me. This is a healing that needs to take place. There's been a breakage, a separation that has to be healed. And so you mend what has been broken by asking for forgiveness. So it's, I am sorry, and then please forgive me. And you send out that energy too. That sincere energy is found in the heart. You won't find it in the head. And so from the heart, he looked at the inmates' files and saw within himself what was going on there and asked for forgiveness. You're asking the universe for forgiveness, but the universe and the person are in the presence of that which has been wronged. And then the last step is also very simple. It's, I love you. And I won't tell you what flows with that. If you're in heart, you'll know. And then the healing is flowing forward. Now, I told you the situation when Dr. Lin entered. the little video will tell you that each morning before he went to work there, he would do his cleansing, and then he would do it at work. And again, never meeting with a patient, but things began changing. The shackles came off, outside activities began to go on, and the healing was tremendous, just tremendous. And it's even more powerful yet, because initially when he was invited to take this position, he said, look, all I need is the names of the people. I don't need to be there. I can heal them with that. But due to security reasons, you know, that wouldn't work. And so he wound up actually being an on-site counselor. So I just, it is so good, my friends, to know about Hooponopono. Maybe we've all been Hawaiians, and maybe this ancient practice was actually wider than that. I don't know what it is, but it feels natural to the soul. And it's so beautiful, especially when you have the understanding that everything is energy, and it's energy flows that need to be healed. And when you're in heart, you can be in touch with compassion there, not only in my instance for the animals that were being hurt, but for the dear souls who were so sound asleep as to be callous enough to do what they were doing. And you shed a tear for them, because that is so terrible. And a day of repentance and awakening will come. As a reminder, what did Jesus say from the cross? My God, nailed up there. They know not what they do. It is so true, my friends. And this is why we've got to forgive ourselves as well. Forgiveness is really important. Along with owning the whole world, the whole cosmos, and recognizing that what we're seeing is a reflection of self. Now, I know this is big, and it's too big for the mind, so give up on the mind's ability to take you there. The mind can't grok the fact that that tree out there is just as much you as that body you're wearing. And it really is. It's so one that everything else is just a seeming, just a temporary experience. It arises, it falls, it's born, it dies. So I wanted to outfit you, to arm you with this beautiful resource for the heart and for the soul, because you'll find yourself naturally wanting to move in these ways as we gain courage to look at the difficult things. Mostly we wouldn't do that unless it was brought to us in some accidental, quote unquote, accidental way, like my watching that video of Kymatica. It's not the lower self, it's not the conscious mind that is the repository of the free will that we have. We have a higher self making decisions for us, or we wouldn't ever go into anything difficult, because the lower self wouldn't choose in any way what it considers suffering. You know, it would want Rolls Royces, Jaguars, and bonbons, lots of money, and you know, a bunch of nonsense like that. Now, what good is any of that to the soul? Can you say it with me? None. And so through the mind we get lost. We get lost in surface appearances and things. And I really think it's possible, among other ways, to read the fall in the Garden of Eden. You know, it was said, and they will know wrong from right, right from wrong. Well, that's duality, isn't it? I think it's possible to read that as the descent into duality, into 3D. It's quite possible Adam and Eve were a higher dimensional form of creation. And with that, they adventured into physical life. And remember, the scriptures have been mucked up and tampered with. The light is in them, but so is a lot of misleading. I mean, the disinformation is everywhere we look. But the more we stand and take our place in the heart, the more we're enabled to see it and to see through it. All of this in the end is nothing to us. We are such magnificent beings of light as we're waking up to that it has the dark force trembling in terror about our awakening. So don't underestimate the self, and own up to and realize that you are the higher self. Let's stop identifying with anything fleshy or anything even manifest, and get rid of those beliefs that are in the way of our perceiving that all are indeed one. Blessings and light to you. Have a great day. Really had people shackled hand and foot. These were rapists, murderers, and it was typical of the treatment that was considered necessary for the safety of everyone in that environment. And he went in, believe it or not, as a counseling. So I saw that cruelty there, terrible, callous cruelty to those sweet animals. And I had to look inside myself, and I had to own it. I can't see what I'm not. And so, of course, or you'd think he'd be meeting with people, but he wasn't. He met with their files, and he studied those. And in the 3 years, now I don't know if he was there longer, but over a period of 3 years, he never met with a patient, but he studied, and he found in himself what he needed to find. He saw how all of this was a reflection of him. And there's such a simple, natural movement with Hooponopono. The first thing is a repentance. And I'm sorry. The first thing is you look and you acknowledge what you're seeing. You're seeing the problem, the issue is in you. And you have to acknowledge this. That's the seeing that's required to perform Hooponopono. And so this doctor, when he went into the place, it was pathetic. I mean, they literally